Hey guys, welcome back to According To. I'm Megan.
And I'm Ciera. And for this week's episode, Megan and I thought it'd be fun, as we are nearing the end of 2024, to jump back to an episode we did at the end of last year, talking about our manifestations for 2024 and see how we did with those manifestations.
Yeah, I want to say last year we kind of switched gears to doing like a manifestations episode versus like New Year's goals and resolutions for no real reason. But I went through, had the pleasure of going back and listening to the episode to make sure that we had an accurate list of both of the things we talked about. And so I'll be the one to go through and kind of read off the different things that we were wanting to manifest in the new year, which is now almost over.
I will say, just like for any listeners out there, like people take manifestations like to varying degrees of seriousness. Megan and I are on the like less
like it's
serious
all fun games.
Like I'm not out here like with my gems and crystals like writing things down 10 times like to manifest it truly. I just like say that.
Yeah.
It's like I'm manifesting this.
Before we do that, we're going to talk about our weekly spotlights, our book updates, and just catch up with you guys as we always do. And then make sure you stay tuned because we'll then jump into, I want to say we had like 4 or 5 each of our different manifestations.
All right.
Of varying categories.
So my weekly spotlight, which will then kind of go into like a little bit of a weekend recap because Megan and I spent this weekend apart.
I know. I was kind of like, have we ever, I'm sure we have been away from each other well, I know we have because, well, a weekend would be different because like clinicals, we were gone longer. We were further, what am I saying? We were gone for longer than a weekend, but usually it was like during the weekends we would like reconvene, but during the week we'd be separate. I'm sure we have been separate for a weekend here and there though before. But yeah, I went on a little girls trip to Chicago and then Ciera went to Clear Lake this weekend with her boyfriend. So when we each got home from our trips today, we kind of did our own little recaps. So we'll give like the Sparks Note version of our trips, assuming this is your highlight from the last week.
It is. Did you have another highlight? Or anything to share with the class?
I did go and see Wicked. Which that's been since we last podcasted. And I gave it a 7 out of 10 and
That's honestly pretty good.
It's not bad. That felt right. And like, I'm not going to bash her or say I'd never see it again, but like, I kind of felt like I wasn't the target audience for it. Like I'm not someone who probably really appreciates like musical theater and or Broadway or just musicals in general. And part of me was like, while I was watching, in a way, I felt like the movie was made for like the people who are like Wicked fans. And I just felt like I kind of like I was missing something the whole time is kind of how I felt. It made me want to go and rewatch The Wizard of Oz though. So I'm sure I'll go see the second one when it comes out. But I haven't really been like thinking about it. It has not been taking up space in my head.
You haven't really been holding space.
I haven't been holding space for it.
Defying gravity.
So that's my thoughts on that. Do you have anything else, or we can kind of go back and forth about?
Should we do
our
book
weekends?
updates now, kind of in the forefront before we like really
Sure.
get into it? I don't think I have much of an update to share since I last spoke with you guys, because I think I did tell you guys I started reading The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, and I'm still currently reading that same book.
You haven't gotten very far in it, have you?
No.
I just found out, and you probably found out from my review.
I did.
This is not a trilogy. I've thought this was a trilogy. So also this was kind of why I was thrown off when I started reading this book, and all of a sudden Rain and Araya are nowhere to be found in this book. And I was like, what the heck is happening? This is how we're finishing the
what
series.
you're telling me is I really need to like soak in this book with them.
So I was informed that this series, the Crowns of Nyaxia series, is going to be a 6-book series.
It's like a triple duology
With, like,
or something.
Part of me was wondering though, I was kind of like, does this triple duology include the novella or not?
I was wondering that too.
Because
that's
that includes a different couple. So they could have one other full book and that would be 6 total books. Anyways, so had I known that going into it, I probably would have been like able to just like focus more on like these characters. Like this is their story.
You're like, where are Rain and Araya at?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was like at first. So at least you know that now.
That's good.
I was also like, as the book was getting to a close, I was kind of like, things aren't really wrapping up here. Like, they kind of could wrap up. I was like, this would be like kind of a sucky ending to the series, but like, I could see things wrapping up, and then they did not. So you're reading that. I have finished reading some book, I think. One second.
Well, you're reading our book club book right now.
I know. But what was I reading before? I had just finished The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. Okay. I gave it 4 stars. It's probably been my least favorite of the books I've read so far, including the novella, because I actually quite liked the novella. But it wasn't bad. And I will still keep reading the series.
Oh, wait. I don't think I told you guys that I read the book club book. Because I read that in one day. It's pretty crazy for me lately.
10% of the way into that book right now. It's Listen for the Lie. And I'm enjoying it so far. I just haven't really like had time to sink my teeth into it yet. I thought that like my car ride to and from Chicago would give me ample time to read, but I did not feel like reading on the way there, and I basically slept the entire way back because I got like no sleep last night. So yeah.
Any other updates, or should we jump into our weekends?
You go first. You can start with your weekend spark notes.
Okay, so if you watched our vlog, which just like side note, if you did watch our most recent Week in Our Life video, it was a pain in the butt to upload, and I have no idea why it took me like 2 hours after the video was already done and edited to like save it to upload it. It was insane. So appreciate that video if you're watching it.
And I'm like, you guys don't always know what goes on behind the scenes.
And then honestly, it made me feel good. Someone commented like that they like, oh, like they loved the Week in the Life video, like something like that. And it was nice to see that because I didn't feel like it was necessarily like the best video that I had edited, or like I feel like I was just like was hating the video from like the hard drive crashing during the week and it was breaking on me, and then like I just felt pressed for time editing it. Like I was gaining this like resentment towards the vlog that I was editing. And so I'm glad that it has brought joy to those who have watched it. Anyway, so I finished editing and uploading that right before we left to go to Clear Lake. And we went to Clear Lake because this weekend they were doing this festival that was called like Christmas at the Lake or something. And I guess it's a recurring tradition. I don't know how long it's been going on, but like we had never been up there. No one in our family had been up there for this festival type thing before. And I thought it sounded fun because my boyfriend's going to be out of town with his family for Christmas. And then next weekend, like, he's got stuff for work and I've got stuff with, like, family kind of out of town for Christmas. Like, we'll still be able to see each other and stuff between now and Christmas. But I just figured, like, this could be, like, a fun thing for just us to do and, like, celebrate Christmas. So that's what we did. So we go up. We're, like, leaving after work on Friday. So by the time we get up to the lake, it's not, like, it's, like, 8 o'clock. And so he has a dog, and I brought Vegas, so we both had our dogs up there, and we just watched the Santa Claus 3 the first night, and then went to bed, and that was basically it. Saturday was, like, the main festivity day. We went to the store, got some stuff for breakfast, we made breakfast, and then this, like, will come into play later, but if you guys remember or not, Megan and I took Vegas up to the lake early in the summer one time, and I don't know if it's the lake specifically or if it's just like him being in a new environment, that when it comes to him going to the bathroom, like he just like does not go to the bathroom despite how many times I like will take him out. And there's not a ton of grass at our lake house, and so like we have to like take him out and like walk down the street with him to like get him to an area where there's grass. And eventually he did go to the bathroom when we were up there earlier this year. But this will become relevant for a story later. And so, like, this time when we go up, like, he's taken a while to go to the bathroom. But he did go to the bathroom Saturday morning after, like, walking around quite extensively. It sounded like my boyfriend's the one that took him out while I was making breakfast. So, I don't know how long it took. After that, we went into town. So, the downtown area of Clear Lake is, like, this giant square. And then there's, like, all these cute shops and stuff. And, like, a lot of the boutiques and stuff were selling Christmassy type stuff that they're probably selling at this time of year anyways. The art center had different, like, local art vendors, like, trying to sell stuff. They had, like, little, like, a lot of, like, participating shops and stuff would have, like, some treats and stuff out. So like the art center had some little like gingerbread cookies, which I tried. They were actually good. So I'm like, maybe gingerbread cookies are good. And they had some other cookies. Like one was like it tasted almost like a Thin Mint because it was like an Oreo with like a pepperminty type filling, but it wasn't like brand name Oreo. But that one was good. And then we went and drove to the local middle school because like in the gym they had like a bunch of art vendors and stuff. So we were walking around there. And there's a lot of crochet people like selling their crochet stuff. So
next year we were saying set up a stand.
Well, you can set up a stand.
Okay.
I like that you're still including me in this as I have not crocheted a single thing.
Maggie actually just sent me a TikTok of like a little scarf with a hood that she used. Like I should make this.
That'd be good. So you can.
Me and Maggie can set up a stand next year.
There you go. It was actually funny because like there's these two women that were selling some of their crochet stuff and they're like just sitting back behind it crocheting while they're like working the booth. Time is money. And then after that we went to get lunch. We just went to a restaurant away from the downtown area. Then we went back to the lake house, let the dogs out for a little bit, and then we were watching some of the football games and stuff going on. We were going to go to a parade at like 5 o'clock. It was supposed to be like this Christmas parade. I ended up accidentally falling asleep, so we missed that. But then we went back downtown. And we walked around for a little bit.
Had you ever been to Clear Lake before?
No. So we went and parked downtown, but then we walked to the library, which is only like 5 minutes from like the downtown area, because they had free hot chocolate. And it was funny because like when I knew they had free hot chocolate there, that's like what I was going for. But like when I walk in, and I'm like kind of like, you can tell I'm like looking around, and someone's like, oh, like, can I help you with something? I didn't want to say like, where's the hot chocolate? So I was like, is there any like Christmas at the lake stuff going on here? And she was like, yeah, we have ornament making and hot chocolate downstairs. And I was like, perfect. And
that's where I'll be going.
We went downstairs. They had a little hot chocolate station set up where you'd grab a cup and then you'd put your little scoop of hot chocolate in. And they had like a little hot water thing. Honestly though, like, how do you think the hot chocolate tasted? Like, it's never actually that good. Like, it was mostly hot water with like a hint of chocolate. But it did warm my hands up a little bit when we were walking around. Actually, the weather was like pretty nice this weekend. Like I really can't complain. So we walked around for a little bit. They had a churro truck that my boyfriend ended up getting something from there. Actually, what was funny when we first got to the downtown area, there's a pretzel maker there now. If you knew that or not. Like a pretzel maker store right like down
the
from
brand
Gijo's
pretzel maker?
bit. I think so.
Really? For Clear Lake, Iowa.
Weird. You know like that new Cancun restaurant that's like right by Gijo's? It's like a couple of things down from that. It's like pretzel maker. And so I was confused at first. Not that I thought it was like part of the Christmas by the lake thing, but I was like, I'd never seen it before. And I was like, is it like just a temporary
franchise
opportunity? I don't know. So it's like, keep in mind, it's like 10 o'clock or something. And we had just eaten like a whole breakfast, like pancakes, eggs, sausage. I'm not hungry. But we like were curious. We walk in. We're the only ones in there. And it's kind of like a long walkway. So like we're like walking in. Because at first we were going to see if they had any of those like cinnamon pretzel things. Because like that could be maybe like something good to snack on like right in the morning. And they didn't. So we're kind of like looking.
Did you feel obligated to buy something?
I was going to buy something. But then there's like there's a group behind us that came in like right after us. And we were like backed up. We're like, you guys can go if you like know what you want. And then we kind of were like, we're leaving. We left. And so... but like I'll probably stop by at some point, assuming they're still open next year, because I do love a good pretzel. Oh, I forgot. We went to, when we were shopping around in the start of the day before we had gone back home, there's this soda company called Fizz that's new up there. I don't know if it's like any like franchise type thing, but it's one of those like soda shops. And I had tried them at one point during the summer and I liked it. So we stopped by there and got like little sodas. Mine was called The Lady. It was Sprite, raspberry and cream, I think. And then I don't know what he got. It was blue. That's all I know. Anyway, back to now we're downtown. We have hot chocolate. They had like horse carriage rides. We didn't do that because we didn't want to wait in line. As far as like stuff they had set up in the downtown area, they had like 3 balloon inflatable, like they had an inflatable Snoopy Christmas thing, an inflatable tree, and then some other inflatable thing that I think I took a picture of. It was, a Rudolph. And then they had like a little white house. I'll show Megan a picture. That was like where the Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus were set up. We could take pictures with them. And then like in downtown Clear Lake, there's this big like stage. And they had just like Christmas trees and stuff set up in there that you can go take pictures with. And then we're going to go to Gijo's for dinner. That's an Italian restaurant. They were full. So we went to Sevens, which is just like a sports bar. And we watched all the football games and stuff that were going on. And then we went home and watched Polar Express, which I think Megan hated on last week.
Here's the thing. I don't like the animation component of it. That's the barrier for me.
Anyway.
Not so much the plot.
That was the first time that I had seen it in a long time. And I don't love the animation style, but like the movie itself wasn't bad. I honestly feel like the movie is like trying to be like a visual roller coaster for like 2 hours, if that makes sense. Like between the train ride, and it's almost like it has you in like a POV type of mode for some like the crazy scenes. And like there's just other sections of the movie where it's like when they're outside the train, like they're like on a slide or like on a conveyor belt. Like I was like, what do you guys like, what's your goal with this? It almost felt like they were setting it up to be like a Disney theme park ride. I don't think there is one. Anyway, then we get to, this is like the funny story that I've been setting up with Vegas. We get to Sunday morning. Don't have anything planned today except for like getting ready to go back home. So make breakfast, and then it's like time to start cleaning. And there's like kind of just like a general task list we tend to follow of like, okay. It's also like annoying because like I'm going up at a time when it's like no one else is going up for a while, and so I need to like deal with like turning the water off and like that annoying stuff, which means like I need to make sure laundry, dishes, all that stuff is like gets done before we leave because I need to turn the water off. So we're cleaning, tidying up, doing dishes, doing laundry, getting things switched around. And keep in mind, Vegas, last time he'd gone to the bathroom, and by gone to the bathroom, I mean pooped. He'd kind of peed throughout the day, whatever. But he hadn't pooped since the previous morning, so it'd been almost 24 hours. And I'm like, I'd taken him out once during the night, right away at 7, and then just like kind of generally like throughout the morning if he was whining. And I had tried to block off the basement with like a baby gate, not because I thought he'd go to the bathroom downstairs, but because I thought like there's just like a lot of crap downstairs that I didn't want him like finding and like chewing on, which he did anyways. Just like he'd find a shoe downstairs, he'd find a piece of plastic downstairs, and then I was like, oh my god, but that gate would not freaking stay up. So I will need to troubleshoot that next time if I bring Vegas back up.
He's wearing out his welcome.
So I'm doing laundry, and I know like when I went downstairs the first time, everything was fine. I go downstairs to like check on it, and I'm like, I smell an odor. And you guys won't know what I'm talking about, but Megan will know what I'm talking about, I think, when I say like sometimes like the lake like downstairs has like an odor that doesn't smell great, but like it's the smell you're used to. So at first I was like, is it that? And then I was like, but it hasn't really smelled down here. So then I'm like, okay, let me just look around to see if I can find something, because like we're gonna be the last ones up here for, you know, a couple months probably. And so we don't need dog poop is what ended up being, spoiler, sitting up here for months. That would be literally disgusting. So I find not one, but 2 piles of dog poop on, not the floor, the beds. 2 different beds, 2 different piles of dog poop. So I'm kind of like, I'm honestly stunned more than anything, because like I've shared that Vegas has actually been like a very good dog in terms of like he has not had any major accidents aside from like when he's gotten sick and had diarrhea. Like even when he's a puppy, we did so good potty training him that he never pooped like in our house. And so, and he knows he's not supposed to poop inside is what I'm saying. And he's got 2 piles of poop on 2 beds. So I'm like, okay. And then I'm also annoyed because since he pooped on the bed, now the bed is dirty and I have to do another load of laundry that I wasn't planning on doing. So I have to stay for longer now. So I like tell my boyfriend that he's like in the process of loading stuff into the car. Okay, whatever. I'm cleaning up the bags, or I'm getting the bags to clean up the poop, and then I'm like stripping the beds to get them loaded in the laundry room, and whatever. I get all this stuff. I'm taking the poop bags upstairs, and then his dog is like whining by the door, but I thought she was just like whining because he was outside loading stuff in the car. And I'm kind of like getting ready to take the poop bags outside to the trash can, and then I'm kind of like looking around. I'm like, where's Vegas? And then I'm like, oh, maybe like my boyfriend took him out to like go to the bathroom again or something. I don't know. Then I like look on the table, and I see Vegas's leash sitting on the table, and I'm like, well, he would need that if he took Vegas. So then I'm like, oh God, I think I may have known what happened. So then I go and open the door, and I'm like waiting to like hear or see like Vegas running or like my boyfriend yelling. And so I like get outside, I close the door to make sure his dog doesn't get out. And I'm kind of just like, I've got to like somewhere, like someone is somewhere. So I'm trying to like listen. I eventually hear my boyfriend like saying like, Vegas, like I can hear him. And I'm like, oh God. And I see him, like I kind of walk out into the street a little bit, and I see him across the street. Like Vegas is behind one of the houses across the street, and like my boyfriend's over there trying to coax him to like stop running. And so Vegas also loves, like his favorite thing is to be chased, and so like, you know, it's a hairy situation.
This is a fun time for him
to like, if you try to go and grab him, like he's gonna try and run away. So then my thought, I was initially gonna like go and like go right over there, but then I was like, I need a leash. So then I put the poop bags down, I go back inside and grab his leash, and then like I go across the street. Vegas doesn't listen to me either. And so like I'm mostly just like worried that he's gonna like start running and like try to cross the street when a car is coming. Luckily, he didn't run across the street again. He like is staying back behind these houses, and like my boyfriend is like back behind that house already, and then I'm kind of staying in the front to like make sure he doesn't go between the houses to cross the street. And then we're able to like corner him so that I can go like between the sides of the house, and he's coming around the back side. And then Vegas is like on this back patio where honestly he was about to run up someone's stairs like onto their deck, and I was like, please do, honestly. And then like you'll really be cornered. But like we like got it. There was a couple times where it's like we're getting closer and Vegas is like gonna like start to run it, and I was like yelling. I won't yell on the microphone, but I was like, Vegas, like don't you even think about running. Like I was like, I'm not gonna try to chase you right now. Like we are getting you, and we're going inside. So we get him, we leash him, all is well. We get back inside, and I was just like, Vegas, how could you have created a more chaotic morning for me? Like if you tried, you pooped in 2 beds, make me have to do another load of laundry, and you've decided to run away. What did I do to deserve this morning?
He is now sleeping like a little angel, though.
And then it was funny because I think my boyfriend like felt bad because he like felt like he let Vegas out, but like Vegas, if he wants outside, like he's a pretty sneaky guy. He can sneak his way around, and like I've done the same thing before, like letting Haley's dogs. Technically, I was actually grandma that did that, but like I get like dogs just like
they want to get out
outside. So, but I feel like knowing that we had to stay longer, and we had talked about going back to the Fizz place from the day before we left, but like we knew for sure we had to stay longer to get the laundry. So we're like, oh, like he suggested, let's go back to that soda place, and like, you know, since we have to be here longer anyways, we just do that. So I'm like, okay. We load the dogs up in the car because we already put the crates in the car, so we didn't want to like get them back out. We go all the way downtown again. We get out of the car. We go to the soda shop. It's closed. Closed on Sunday. So
I'm surprised you didn't look that up beforehand.
Yeah, I just felt like they'd be open. But we just ended up walking around with the dogs like in the downtown area for a little bit because we didn't take them down there any other time. And got some gas. Went back home.
Did they do okay on the drive there and back?
Yeah, they did actually.
That's good.
I genuinely was like, if Vegas does not give me peace on this drive back, like I don't know what I'm going to do because he has reached his limit with me today. He's actually being really sweet. Like he was being like, he'd like come up front and then like kind of like try to like rest his like head on like one of our shoulders and like lean on us. Oh, you knew he was a bad boy. But no, he was pretty good actually. Then we drove back, and that was my weekend.
Okay, so my weekend away in Chicago, I went with my friend Abby, and then my friend / like I know this person through Abby, her friend Christine. She actually also just joined our book club. And so the purpose of this trip was it was mostly Abby's birthday trip. And so I was kind of like, you mostly decide what you want to do. If there's things you want to make sure we do, like it's your trip. So, and she was the one doing the driving there and back, which was very kind. I didn't realize it was only a 5-hour drive from Des Moines to Chicago. In my head, I've always been like, oh, it's 6 hours, but it's 5 hours. Drive there. We left Friday after work. Pretty uneventful, smooth driving. Even like in the city, since we got there so late, it wasn't too bad. And so we just went to our hotel Friday night and then hung out in the hotel. Santa Claus 3 happened to be on, so we watched the end of that, and then we went to bed. Saturday was our busy day, because really today was just us driving back. But Saturday, we woke up around like 8:30, and then we did breakfast at the hotel. And then we decided that we were going to start our day by going to the Willis Tower and do like the ledge experience. I will say, I did not realize that it's like there's kind of a little bit more to it. Like when you're going, the starting point is like in the basement. And like you pay for your ticket there, and then you go through this kind of like experience, for lack of a better term, of just like things related to like the city of Chicago. It's kind of like you're walking through like a little museum art exhibit type of thing, and it's like pretty extensive. I was not expecting that. Now you could spend a lot more time down there and like read through all that stuff, but to be honest, like we were all just kind of walking on through and like trying to get to the elevator that takes you to the top. There was one point, one of the things that you're walking through was like this like subway or L train thing. And it's like the windows of the subway car are like moving, and you're trying to like walk forward through the hallway. It was kind of trippy. Like I was kind of like, I'm not feeling okay. And then take the elevator up to the top floor, which I don't remember how many floors it is. 110 maybe? My ears popped multiple times on the way up the elevator. And then once you're up there, you can like walk around. They've got like windows all around the top floor, but then like there's the specific ledge section where it's like the glass things that stick out a little bit, and you get like 90 seconds of your time on the platform with your party to take pictures or do what you want. And so
do they have someone like there being like, okay, get off?
Yeah, and they've got a timer that they set. That's funny. You start by like, you get in, they have a DSLR up on the corner. They like take a picture of you that of course they're going to sell to you later.
$30.
And then you can like take your own pictures and videos and whatnot. I will say, like, I'm not really someone that's scared of heights, but like stepping out onto like the ledge was a little more off-putting than I was anticipating. But it was neat. And they also had like some souvenirs and stuff that you could purchase up there as well. We did not do that. And then from the Willis Tower, we decided that we were going to we were going to the Christmas market. That's where we went next. And so it's free to attend, but like you have to wait in line because like they can only fit so many people in. It's an outside market, and it opened at 11. We got there shortly after 11, I think, and the line was like pretty long, but it went fairly quickly. But in the actual market, like, I mean, it was packed, you guys. It was like you're literally like sardines in the market. And so it was cool, but it was also just like overwhelming, and I didn't feel like I could really take the time to like look at booths. I also didn't anticipate I was going to actually buy anything. The two people that I was with, they purchased they got like some wine that came in like a little souvenir mug. That was probably like the most common thing I saw people purchasing. They did have because it was like a German Christmas market. They had, what are those potato pancakes called?
Latkes?
No.
Then I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, well, they had those, and those looked good, but I didn't end up getting in line to get one of those. From the market, we decided that we were going to walk to the the Bean / Millennium Park.
Cloudgate.
Yeah. And so...
Doesn't the artist get mad that people call it the Bean?
I think so. So it was kind of cold, so we did break up our walk a little bit. We were walking by a Macy's, and I was like, let's hop in here and just like warm up a little bit.
How was your boot journey?
Oh, this whole week leading up to my trip, I knew that I was trying to get a pair of like knee-high black boots because my friend for her dinner wanted to like have people dressed up like nicer. And so the idea was like, okay, we're going to wear dresses. And I had a dress in mind, and I ordered some of like those fleece lined tights, and I had like some ankle black booties that I could wear, but Ciera and I both agreed like the knee-high boots were going to look better, and Ciera was also going to take the black boots for herself on her trip. So this whole week, I've been like, I probably could have tried harder, but like I just had a busy week, and I did not feel like going shopping at the end of my workday. Sue me. And so it is Thursday night. I'm looking online everywhere I possibly can to like see where has stuff in store for me to go the next day. And I cannot find anything.
She's committed. She went to Target at 7 a.m.
So then Friday morning, I go to Target, which opens at 7 a.m. I went before work, and I'm trying on the boots there. I'm sending Ciera pictures. There was an option of like black cowboy boots.
I was like, girl, you can.
And I was like, this doesn't really match the vibe. And then there was like another option. They were also technically a size too small, but they did technically fit. And then I tried on a pair of like boots that were like too big, but like could I have made it do with them? Yes. So I was going to buy those because I was like, I don't have any other options. But prior to me deciding to buy them, I looked one more time online, and a Target a little bit further away said that they had the boots that I wanted, which were not the ones that I was going to get, but they had the style that I liked and the size I needed. I was like, perfect, I'll purchase these right now, and I'll pick them up later after work. So I do that, and then I leave, and come lunchtime, I get an email saying, this is no longer in stock. We cannot fulfill your order. And I was like, well, then why did you allow me to place the order? So I come home from work. It's like 3:30. I don't know what I'm doing at this point. Okay. My plan is to leave. My friends are both basically done with work and saying that they're just packing up and ready to go. So, and I mean, I was kind of like, worst comes to worst. Like, could I maybe buy some shoes in Chicago? Yes. But like, that wouldn't be very ideal. So I check one last place. I check Famous Footwear. I don't know if I hadn't looked at them before or if they just restocked stuff, but before I headed out, I saw online that they had boots that I liked in my size. I headed there. Luckily, it was kind of on the way to my friend's place, and lo and behold,
there they were.
Multiple boot options with multiple pairs of my size, and I was able to secure the boots before I went on my way. So, back to the Bean. Well, we did our Macy's trip. There's also, there's a restaurant that's like fairly well known called the Walnut Room. And it was too booked out for us to actually go to, but it's in the Macy's. So we did take the elevator up to at least see what it looked like. And it had like a fun little Christmas tree. And you could tell it was like, just a restaurant with good ambiance. Then we went to the Bean and, took the standard pictures there and did some more walking around. There's like a separate park called Maggie Daly Park that we had seen that you could do some ice skating at. And so we walk over there. Now from the Bean to the park, it's probably like a 10-minute walk, but there's a bridge that's like also an art installation that like it makes it a much longer bridge than like it needs to be to actually get from like where you're needing to go.
It's not really a functional bridge. It's like, it's for the journey.
It's just like there's so many more waves and turns and it then like needs to be there. So anyways, we get across the bridge. We go to the skating rink thing and we can see that like it's not currently open because it's one of like the hour breaks that they have where the Zamboni is cleaning up the ice. So we decide, no worries. We have, 40 plus minutes to kill. We'll go find a place to eat lunch and then we'll come back. So we go do that. We go to a sushi place for lunch and then we walk all the way back over to the ice skating thing. We wait in a long enough line knowing that there's like you can do reservations or you can do a walk-up purchase if you're needing to rent skates. And while we were in line, we were trying to go online to save $2 to buy the tickets that we needed. and it wasn't working. So that probably was telling us everything we needed to know. But we get up to the window, and before even like saying like that I'm here to get tickets to skate, I just knew that I was like, I just know this isn't gonna happen. So I was like, are you taking walk-ins right now? The answer was no, they were not. So we did not do the ice skating. There was also like a separate rink up by the bean. So they have like the skating ribbon, which is like a loop kind of that like you skate around. It was much more picturesque and just cute. And they have like a little holiday cafe thing and like trees in the middle. I took a video actually. I can like show you it. So
that's where you
did not do that. That's where we were trying to go. And I was like, I don't care enough to go to the skating rink. Here's what it looks like. And so from there, we decided to walk to like more towards Lake Michigan to, enjoy a view of the lake. And then once we got far enough along like the lake shore thing, you can like turn left and walk along the river walk, which is what we did. And at this point, it was probably getting close to like 3:30, 4 o'clock. And we'd had like a long day at that point. We'd done a lot of walking. We're cold. We're kind of ready to like go to the hotel and just have a little bit of a break. And so from there, we again stopped at like a shopping place halfway between where we were at and the hotel just to have like some heated rest time. And then we got back to our hotel. We did our little outfit change into our nice outfits. And then we had also decided to pregame our dinner with a comedy club show. So we ended up going to a place called the Comedy Bar, and the show was from like 7 to 8:30ish, and our dinner wasn't until 9. Our dinner originally was like planned for 8:30, and then when we had the idea of doing the comedy show, we pushed it back to 9. And so this is a fun little tidbit. You guys can laugh at me.
I laughed.
But so we're walking into the Comedy Bar, and it's like not a huge place. It's like they've got the stage up front, and they've got like different tables around. Now, we were told that it's like first come, first serve seating. So I would have anticipated, since we were getting there not super early, kind of late, honestly, I was expecting we were going to have one of the back tables. However, the hostess brings us right up to like the front table, like as close to the comedian as you can possibly get. I'm not kidding. I was like it was almost like, oh my God, I'm on stage. And so none of us, like me and the two people I was with, did not want that, because none of us want to be like communicated with by the comedian. Anyways, there's 4 seats at this table. And so I'm walking up. My friend Abby's kind of going to like the left side, and then Christine's going to like the right side. And I start pulling out a chair to sit in. Okay. Like, why else am I moving the chair? I pull it away from the table. I get in front of said chair, and then I go to take a seat. Chair's not there. Chair's no longer behind me. So granted, I didn't plop down. I was more of like a slow, controlled descent. And I was like, I sat all the way down to the floor. Where's the chair at? And I still like, I wish I knew what was happening. The hostess didn't really explain herself, because like what I think had to have happened was like she like pulled the chair out just like all the way away from where I was at. I don't know. And like Abby and Christine said like they were not looking. They turned around, and like there I was just like on the floor. Okay. Didn't hurt anything, thank God. And like, I mean, what do you do at that point? Like I stood back up, I grabbed the chair, and I sat down, because
you got a free drink though.
Yeah, I guess the hostess, I just want to know what happened. Did she, because then here's the thing after the fact was I noticed that like once we were all situated, like there's only 3 chairs at the table. So I'm like, did she think like, oh, I'm pulling this chair away, so we only have 3 chairs at this table? I'm not putting a chair anywhere. 4 chairs can stay at the table. So I don't know if she was like, okay, like you guys only need 3 chairs. I'll take this one out of the way.
Oh, thanks for starting.
I was literally, did you not see me pull that chair out from the table for myself? Anyways, I have no idea what happened, you guys.
Like, review the tapes for that.
I would love to review the tapes, because I'm like, am I in the wrong? And I'm like, I've sat in many chairs in my lifetime.
Once happened before.
And I was the one that initiated pulling the chair out, so like no one else should be touching my chair. Now, granted, this was a learning moment for me because every time I work with patients, I do always be telling them, reach back for your chair so you know where you're sitting and you don't sit on the floor.
There you go.
And this was the perfect example of why
now you can
do
have
that.
a little joke with them that you tell them, be like, guess what? This weekend, I didn't reach back from my chair and I fell on the floor. But I'm also a young, agile 25-year-old, so I can get back up.
So that was the comedy club or comedy bar. There was like 5 different comedians that came on. This was also the first comedy show I've been to. And like I'd probably go to another one. It wasn't bad. It was fine. I feel like basically all the comedians, I feel like some of them had some hits and then some misses. But it was fine. And then
in a different way for you to spend the afternoon and evening.
And there weren't really any like, I think ideally we would have done something like the Nutcracker or something, but those shows are like way more expensive and like a lot of them were sold out. So
you should look to see if I'm sure there's a Nutcracker in Des Moines.
Yeah.
If you would be interested.
Maybe. Then from there we went in Uber to the restaurant we had dinner at. We ate in the restaurant / cafe that was in Restoration Hardware, which just as a restaurant in like Restoration Hardware, just as
a general
rule is strange to me, but like I know it's a thing. I've been aware that it's a thing, but it's just strange to me because you walk in and it's like,
you want to buy this couch?
Except like none of it really has signs. Like it's for sale, but like it's more of just like a showroom. Anyways, and then like our table was fine. It was like a booth, but then there are some tables where it was like low couches with like almost like coffee table height tables, and like that's what people were eating their dinner at. I was like, it seems like you're eating in your living room right now. It was like a little bit higher. It was like even to a little bit taller than like the couch they were sitting on, but still strange. Dinner was good though, and then from there, we had decided that we were going to go back to the hotel to change into more comfy clothes and jeans rather than going out in our dresses. But my friend did want to go out for her birthday, so we originally were going to go to a bar that one of her friends who lives there suggested, and then when we were waiting in line, one of her other friends, I think, saw her location and was kind of asking like, oh, do you want to come join like me and the people I'm with? So then I was like, again, I'm letting my friend decide because she knows the people and this is her birthday weekend. So I was like, you pick what you want to do. So we did end up going to meet up with some of her friends, and kind of like we were at one person's like birthday party, and then we went to someone else's apartment, and then from there we finally went out. And at this point I'm like, we hadn't even gotten to a bar yet, and it was like almost 1 a.m. And like for me personally, I was just like, I am so on a different wavelength with like time, and I thought we were gonna be done for the night by like 1:30. Okay, we actually did end up leaving the bar we ended up going to by like 2, so it wasn't that much later than I was anticipating. But we did also a lot more walking outside than I was anticipating at that point, because like it was quite cold at that time of the night, and I only had a sweatshirt on because I didn't want to be bringing a coat with me, because I thought we were mostly going to be Ubering to the first bar that we were originally planning on going to, and then Ubering back, and we were doing a lot more walking than I was anticipating, but it was fine. It ended up being good, and we got home back to the hotel, and then I was like, peace out, good night. And I paid for it this morning. I was not as tired as I thought I was going to be. Like, I was tired, but like, you know when you get like a rough night's sleep and your eyes are super puffy, like you feel the tiredness. My eyes were not like that, but still, like on the way home, I slept probably like for a majority of the drive because I was just too tired. And here we are.
And now we've had both of our weekend recaps done.
I know. I'm like, this is a majority of the episode.
That's all right.
Okay. Do you want to do just like a back and forth thing?
Sure.
Okay.
We'll title this episode like weekend or recapping our weekends apart plus reviewing manifestations.
That way it's not a complete lie.
Yeah. It's a complete truth.
Okay. So Ciera, your first manifestation was wanting to finish the basement.
We did
that. I know. I was kind of like, I completely forgot what we had said in this episode. So I was like, okay, we actually did what we said we were going to do. Because I feel like most of the time when we do our goals and recaps, we're like,
that's like tangible. Like tangible. Like we did a whole series about it. We've been using it. We've been loving it. Have no Nothing I would change about the basement.
I know, it really did
Except
turn out.
we need to get the cord on the ceiling.
Yes. Okay. Should I do mine next?
Sure.
Okay. This one, you helped me just kick this one into gear like within the first few weeks of the year. I said I wanted to squat at least 135 pounds once.
Oh, I was like, we can cross that off today.
I cannot say that I have consistently done that, but like within the first couple weeks, we made it happen. Ciera and I did the 135 pounds for, I don't even know how many reps, but we did it. And
I'd say we're consistently, I don't know if this like goes along with something later.
You did have a goal yourself personally.
Overload.
You wanted to start implementing progressive overload consistently.
I feel like I am mindful. I do think I've just like plateaued where it's like
You know, it's hard. I feel like, especially for like a leg day, for example, I feel like some days things feel really good, and some days like things are feeling freaking hard.
Yeah.
And so it's hard. I don't know how I'm going to be feeling on said day.
'Cause, like, what I will say, I'm not someone like, I was not expecting to like follow this and like by the end of the year be like, you know,
lifting 10% heavier all the time.
Like I would say when I'm squatting, I'm consistently ranging like, what is it, like 135 is on either side of the bar, 115. I don't think I've done 3 sets of 10 for 115. So like.
So you're not ready to overload to the next level. Progress.
Now, do I always do 115? No, because like I said, sometimes like it feels too heavy. So then like if I bump it down, then I can do like maybe 3 sets of 10 for that. But then like again, I try to, you know, regularly bump it back up to that next weight. Upper body, like for shoulder press, like 20 pounds is the heaviest I'm going to do for a shoulder press. That's freaking hard. Like when I do 3 sets of 10, I'm like, there's no way I could do like, I could not do 25s. I don't think. So it's like, I'm happy with like what I'm doing. I feel like I'm being more mindful at least of like, I'm not just like pushing on the same weight. I think
I'm trying to more consistently think like, was that hard?
Yeah.
Was it hard enough? Can I adjust for the next set?
Same. And like, it's slow work. Slow work out here. But I think I've been mindful, I think.
Okay, my next manifestation was to stop nail biting this year.
Ooh.
We're not currently in a good spot. You know, when we were in a good spot, we had a little motto. New York. We were saying nails for New York. That was our motto.
Yeah. Nails for the new year. That's our new motto.
Nails for the new year. When we had our New York trip, we were both actually in a good spot where I actually can say like, oh, my nails are doing well right now. And since then, all it takes is one slip up. And
one night you're extra nervous or something. I don't know what it is.
And so this one will be
munching on them.
This one will be coming with us into the new year again.
I'm doing okay. Like if you look at my nails, like they're not bad.
Mine are mediocre. I definitely
my thumbs are the worst.
I need to be just like more disciplined with.
Let's hold each other accountable again. Nails for the new year. Nails by the new year. That'll be our new motto.
You'd be surprised how quickly your nails can grow if you just leave them be.
No, truly. Like you give it a week and they're like rounded out.
You're like, oh, why was I biting them in the first place?
And then you start biting them again. But anyway.
Okay. So, you know, we've had some peaks and valleys with that one. We're in a valley right now. But, okay, this one you mentioned, style hair in different ways and feel confident in those styles. I feel like you probably haven't done as much as you were anticipating with this.
Here's the thing. I feel like this whole year I've done a great job, like, feeling confident with how my hair looks, like, 90% of the time. And by that, I mean, I'm either, like, styling it after I'm showering, so I'm using, like, my one-step styler. Don't get into, like, how bad that probably is for my hair. Or, like, I've been curling it, or, like, whatever. And so I'm fine with how my hair looks. Unfortunately, I just don't know. Like, we've talked about this before, where I feel like it's the type of thing, like, if you try to put on a hat and you don't wear hats, and people can tell, like, you're not a hat person, that's how I feel with different hairstyles, where even if I were to try something that, like, I objectively, like, do well, I feel like I would look at it and be like, this doesn't look good, or, like, I'm self-conscious because I never wear my hair like this, and I'd be too self-conscious about it to, like, actually pull it off.
Yeah. You did, like, not that long ago, you wore your hair up to work and just, like, literally, like, the half bun that you do usually when you're, like, waiting to wash your hair.
I got like 3 compliments by different people that I work with about like, oh, I like your hair like that. And I'm just like, okay, thank you. And I mean, I don't dislike how my hair looks, but like it's something I mostly just do to like get my hair out of my face when I feel like it looks gross.
Yeah. Or is that something you feel like it's worth, like, do you still have a goal of trying to do that or not so much?
I mean, I don't know if I have like a goal for it. Like, I think I like the idea of being someone that can pull off
Have you ever really
different
tried to
hairstyles.
like slick back stuff? Did you try and do more of that this year, or like have a time where you kind of set things aside to be like, let me see if I can do this?
Here's the thing, is I feel like I've landed on, I don't know if I would look good with a slick back hairstyle.
Have you tried?
Not recently.
I don't think I do either. I did try a little bit.
So then why do you think I would look good with it?
What's
like
hard?
Maggie did slick backs a lot.
She could do a slick back for
And,
her wedding
like,
hairstyle.
Maggie can like pull off a slick back. I feel like I cannot. And I feel like I wanted to because it's like, you know, it's supposed to be like effortless, low maintenance. And I'm just like, there's no way that I would ever pull it off.
Okay. This one I kind of was like, interesting manifestation that I included last year. I said, be more strategic with PTO and holiday planning. Okay. Which doesn't quite, like, I can't really say how I did or did not do this year because I just started a new job. So, I mean, I took a whole week off for Thanksgiving, and then now for holidays, for Christmas and New Year's, like, I don't technically have PTO I can use for them. So I feel like this is kind of like a null and void. Doesn't matter.
We had like a nice week-long vacation in March for spring break.
And then
We did one day
for New York, one day around July 4th.
I think it's just like,
and then we took like,
the goal was to like look ahead a little bit more.
yeah.
And I feel like you did that. I feel like I did that.
Okay, you're gonna be pleased with this one, Ciera. You had a
excited.
goal of finding a community and friends.
I did so good with this one.
And we talked about, you know, starting a book club.
Book club we started in February. And like, I just feel so like content with like, I know all these like friendships that I can reach out to. And like there's different like, book club is like this overarching group of people, but like there's like pockets like within book club that like I know I can reach out to like different people for different things. Or,
and it's also nice because we kind of still like we've been doing it for almost like 10 months now, and we still have like new people joining like at different months. So we're continuing to add
there's
just, like
ebbs
more
and
new
flows
people
to the group in a good way. And I'm just like, I feel like I've found like just the friendship that I was looking for. Of like, I need like girls to do things with. And now I found girls to do things with.
Okay, my goal. So we both had a goal of wanting to read 50 books. That was the last thing that we had mentioned.
I'm on track.
I have read so far 58 books this year.
I'm at 48.
I would kind of like to see if I could get to 60 because that would be a nice even number, and I feel like that is feasible. And then maybe next year I'll try and push myself a little bit and up my
I feel like you could do
reading
60.
goal to 60 because last year I read 58, so I've already tied that this year. And I've stayed consistent with doing that, maybe a little bit more this year.
I'm probably gonna keep mine at 50. Like I'll probably get maybe 51 or 52, but and like last year I hit 50 like dead on. I think it was like the last day of the year I had to read a book.
Okay, and then we did have a section where we kind of focused discussions on dating, but we both ended the podcast by saying like we don't want to set specific goals because we don't feel like that's worthwhile, and slash like you had made a point that was like a relationship status does not need to be a goal. I thought that was good and very very smart of you because I agree with that. So you had no set goal. I had mentioned, although I ended up circling back around to being like I don't really have a goal, but in reflecting like in 2023 I had gone on 3 dates, and I was like, it could in theory be a goal for me to try and go on like 1 date a month, and that'd be like 4 times.
Oh my God.
And I listened to that when I was listening to it now. I was like, oh my God, how on earth would that have happened? And the reason that's so funny now is because my whole year this year until the beginning of November was a big fat 0 and not fruitful at all. And then beginning of November was when I happened to be out and meet my now boyfriend. So, yeah. So, And yeah, that was I didn't have a
goals,
specific goal.
We both not that we've never been like the type of people to like go on a ton of dates, but both of us went on like the one person that we went on a date with ended up being our current boyfriends.
Mm-hmm. Because you didn't do any other Hinge dates this year.
No. My boyfriend was my first date since like March or April of 22. Like since before I started work.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like since I started my job, he was my first date that I went
on. I feel like I know it's been cute seeing you guys like in our comments, just either in vlogs or TikToks being like, this is such a fun season of life to see you guys in. And or like, I know we have people who listen or watch into our stuff that like have heavily related to our prolonged singleness. So it's just been cute to see you guys' messages and being excited for us. So thank you so much for that. I don't think either of us intend to be like completely gatekeeping you guys out of our relationships, but it's just like a nice slow
I shared our entire weekend with you guys.
I know. I'm just saying, like, as a viewer, I'm like, eventually we need a face reveal, and eventually there will be a face reveal, you guys. It's just like it'll happen when it happens. Yeah. So if that's something you're concerned about, or you're like, will we ever? As long as things continue to go smoothly, then like, yes, eventually
we'll write it out through the end of the year, and then like we'll see what happens next year, you know?
Okay. I think that's all we have.
All right. Well, we recorded this on a Sunday, so I'm proud of us. That means normally we record these on Monday, and I'm just glad we don't have to do that after work tomorrow. But this was a fun one. I hope you guys had fun listening. I had fun recording it. I had fun listening to Megan's weekend recap again. The chair story kills me. Reach back for your chairs, you guys. Reach back. Both armrests.
There was an armrest on this chair.
Okay.
So, to be fair.
With that, feel free to follow us on Instagram at According To. We have a video version of the podcast on YouTube. You can just search According To Podcast, and you should be able to find it there. Otherwise, we will talk to you guys next Thursday.
Bye.